Friends and viewer, good day. A novel Sula by Toni Morrison. So, according to this novel, the bottom is a mostly black community in Ohio, situated in the hills above the mostly white, wealthier community of Medallion. The bottom first became a community when a master gave it to his former slave. This gift was, in fact, a trick. The master gave the former slave a poor stretch of hilly land, convincing the slave the land was worthwhile by claiming that because it was hilly, it was closer to heaven. The tick, though, led to the growth of a vibrant community. Now the community faces a new threat. Wealthy whites have taken a liking to the land and would like to destroy much of the town in order to build a golf course. Shadrick, a resident of the bottom, fought in World War One. He returns as a shattered man, unable to accept the complexities of the world. He lives on the outskirts of town, attempting to create order in his life. One of his methods involves compartmentalizing his fear of death in a ritual he invents and names National Suicide Day. The town is at first wary of him and his ritual, then over time unthinkingly accepts him. Meanwhile, the families of the children, Nell and Sula, are contrasted. Nell is the product of a family that believes deeply in social convention. Hers is a stable home, though some might characterize it as rigid. Nell is uncertain of the conventional life her mother, Helene, wants for her. These doubts are hammered home when she meets Rachel, her grandmother, and a former prostitute. The only unconventional woman in her family line. Sula's family is very different. She lives with her grandmother, Eva, and her mother, Hannah, both of whom are seen by the town as eccentric and loose. Their house also serves as a home for three informally adopted boys and a steady system of boarders. Despite their differences, Sula and Nell become fiercely attached to each other during adolescence. However, a traumatic accident changes everything. One day, Sula playfully swings a neighborhood boy, Chicken Little, around by his hands. When she loses her grip, the boy falls in a nearby river and drowns. They never tell anyone about the accident, even though they did not intend to harm the boy. The boy girls begin to grow apart. One day, in an accident, Sula's mother dress catches fire and she dies of the burns. After high school, Nell chooses to marry and settles into the conventional role of wife and mother. Sula follows a wildly divergent path and lives a life of fierce independence and total disregard for social convention. Shortly after Nell's wedding, Sula leaves the bottom for a period of 10 years. She has many affairs, some with white men. However, she finds people following the same boring routines elsewhere. So she returns to the bottom and to Nell. Upon her return, the town regards Sula as the very personification of evil for her blatant disregard of social convention. Their hatred in part rests upon Sula's interracial relationship, but is crystallized when Sula has an affair with Nell's husband, Jude, who subsequently abandons Nell. Ironically, communities' labeling of Sula as evil actually improves their own lives. Her presence in the community gives them the impetus to live harmoniously with one another. Nell breaks off her friendship with Sula just before Sula dies in 1940. They achieve a half hearted reconciliation. With Sula's death, the harmony that had reigned in the town quickly dissolves. In 1965, with the bottom facing the prospect of white golf course, Nell visits Eva in the nursing home. Eva accuses her of sharing the guilt for Chicken Little's death. Her accusation forces Nell to confront the unfairness of her judgment against Sula. Not Nell admits to herself that she had blamed his death entirely on Sula and set herself up as the good half of the relationship. Nell comes to realize that in aftermath of Chicken Little's death, she had too quickly clung to social convention in an effort to define herself as good. Nell goes to the cemetery and mourns at Sula's grave, calling out Sula's name in sadness. Sula is a novel about ambiguity. It questions and examines the terms good and evil, often demonstrating the two often resemble one another. The novel addresses the confusing mysteries of human emotions and relationship, ultimately concluding that social conventions are inadequate as a foundation for living one's life. The novel tempts the reader to apply the diametrically opposed terms of good and evil, right and wrong, to the character and their actions, and yet simultaneously shows why it is necessary to resist such temptation, while exploring the ways in which people try to make meaning of lives filled with conflicts over race, gender, and simple idiosyncratic points of view. Sula resists easy answer, demonstrating the ambiguity, beauty, and terror of life in both its triumphs and horror. So, this is the story of Sula by Toni Morrison, and no doubt it is a story about racial discrimination and community inter community conflicts and many others theme you will find in this novel. I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you very much.